Good evening, quizzers. Quizman Adam here at your service. I am so looking forward to entertaining all of you tonight. I've got a great little quiz lined up, from cookery to chemistry and telescopes to triathlons. I've tried to touch on every single subject out there. If there is something that I miss out on and you'd like to be tested on, now I say in advance, other than birds, their nests and their eggs, please add a comment to the video later on and I'll have a little read through and see what we can do for you next week. Now, hopefully at this point, you'll be noticing how amazingly and beautifully unpixelated I appear in front of you. Internet upgrade is well and truly here. I'm now streaming at you, ladies and gentlemen, at twice the resolution and 7 times the speed. It's like we're going from black and white to glorious Technicolor. For those of you that are new to the quiz, a very big welcome to the family. I hope you're going to have a lot of fun tonight. You can play along in so many different ways. The easiest of all of those ways is just by sitting back and enjoying the show. You can, if you like, write down your answers on a piece of paper and you can mark those later on. You can work as a team through video chat. You can download a printable answer pack to make things a little easier for you in terms of paperwork, or you can go the whole hog and you can play along with a digital answer pack. All of those options are available at www.adventurequizzes.com. Click right at the top at the live stream, click on quiz 04 and you'll get what you want. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody fancies a little bit of quizzing, which I do, let's kick off with our first round, which as always is fact or fiction. So we have God, again there, straight away. I knew I'd get you. Anyway, so your first, so here we go. We've got, oh God, I have so much fun doing this. Right, so I've got 5 statements for you. You just say fact or fiction. On the digital answer pack, press your answer, press the answer. If not, just write it down or say it in your head. It's entirely up to you. So your first statement is fact or fiction. The escapologist and illusionist Harry Houdini invented the padlock as a method of fastening chain together. What do you reckon? Fact or fiction? I'm gonna give you a little bit of time, not a huge amount of time, but a little bit of time. Fact or fiction? What do you reckon? I can tell you that it is fiction. It is fiction. Padlocks were invented hundreds of years before Harry Houdini was born. Okay, your next one now. Fact or fiction? In 1984, one of the smelliest cheeses in the world, Époisse de Bourgogne, was banned from public transport in France. What do you reckon? Was it fact or fiction? Fact or fiction? They got some smelly cheeses, but do you think one of them could be smelly enough that it was banned from public transport? What do you reckon? I can tell you it is fiction. It is fiction. It actually is a rumour that was started by the English and was taken very badly by the French Cheese Producers Association. They threatened legal action. Okay, number 3. Making love in a yellow room actually increases your chances of conceiving, as the bright colour stimulates the brain in a way that sunlight makes you feel warm and relaxed. Do you think it is fact or fiction? It's a very simple statement. Is it fact or fiction? What do you reckon? I can say it is fiction. It is absolutely fiction. It has absolutely nothing to do with the colour of the room that you're in. It's all to do with timing. Okay, penultimate fact or fiction now. The monument to the Great Fire of London was also designed to double up as a huge telescope. So there we go. There is the monument. Was it also designed to be a huge telescope? Do you think it's true or do you think it's false? Oh, I mean fact or fiction. Fact or fiction. Let's get that right. I can tell you it is fact. It's an insane fact as well. So that main column that you see was designed to be known as what is a zenith telescope. A zenith telescope just basically points vertically upwards and you wait for stuff to come along in front of you. However, the vibrations from the streets and everything going on around it rendered it completely useless. Oh dear. Okay, your final fact or fiction now. In 2009, a Chilean man was arrested at Barcelona airport after it was discovered that a plaster cast around his leg was made entirely of cocaine. What do you reckon? Do you think it's fact or fiction? Fact or fiction? I can tell you it is fact. Absolute fact. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is... Oh, loved it there. That is a picture of the cast in question with security people around it. The entire thing is made of cocaine. Good luck trying to snort that thing up your nose. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our fact or fiction. Let's move on to next round, which is, of course, the big mix. 16 general knowledge questions. We start relatively easy and then we slowly notch up until we get to the harder questions at the end. Now, let me explain for the benefit of the people on the digital answer pack. I've done something a little bit different tonight, which I hope you're going to like because we'll see. Okay, so all you need to do is press the letter that is the first letter of the answer. Now, I found in previous weeks when we've been doing sort of multiple choice questions, it's quite difficult for me to sort of make those options because in a lot of the time it just leads you towards one thing. So this is still multiple choice, which means you don't have to worry about case sensitivity or spelling or anything like that, but it's still multiple choice. So you've got a 1 in 26 answer, a chance of getting the answer, even if you don't know. So for those of you on the digital answer pack, just press the first letter of the answer. I hope that makes sense. For those of you not using digital answer pack, don't worry. Just say it in your head or write the answer down. So, question number 1. What colour jersey is worn by the overall leader of the Tour de France? So, what colour jersey is worn by the overall leader of the Tour de France? JF, you're a little bit late to be on it. Like, you're very, very welcome, but a little bit late. Don't worry. Just write your answers down and then check out the website later on. Let's go to question number 2. A sphinx, love that word, sphinx, has the body of which animal? The sphinx has the body of which animal? No, you're right, JF. It wasn't like that 2 weeks ago, but there were so many like bot spam things that were going through that I had to make a membership thing. I'm sorry. Okay, question number 3. Which country does Portugal border? Come on. Nice, easy one. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous photo as well. So which country does Portugal border? Try question number 4. What is the first event in a standard triathlon? So the triathlon, 3 events, they always go one to the other, but what's the first? And for those of you using the digital answer pack, what's the first letter of the first event in a standard triathlon? Okay, let's have a go with question number 5. In Greek mythology, who supported the heavens on his shoulders? So, Greek mythology, who supported the heavens on his shoulders? In fact, if you look very, very closely at that image on the left-hand side, you will see the person. But who is that person? What's that person's name? I feel like, am I going at a decent rate? I feel like you've all gone quiet on comments, which means that you're sort of like deep into it. That's good. It's almost like, it's quite weird. Oh, hang on. Let me do the next question. I'll explain a little bit more. So question number 6. Which American state has a name that ends in 3 vowels? So it's just, the name of the state ends in 3 vowels. Which one is it? That's all for my international friends. You all know that one, of course. Yeah, as I was going to say, it's quite interesting because normally a physical quiz, I listen to the volume level of what people are talking about. When the volume sort of starts to go up, I know you're talking about irrelevant stuff and you're not really like keeping stuff secret. And so I ask the next question. Here, I just see that everything goes silent on the chat. And so nobody's talking, which means you're probably talking about the question. Here we go. Oh, yes, there we go. Good face. Thank you very much. Thanks, Nina. Okay, question number 7. What colour is the number 10 on the door of 10 Downing Street? So, I mean, this is sort of technically multiple choice, really, isn't it? There's only a few options. I mean, it's not aquamarine, put it that way. But what one is it? There's a few that you could decide from. So, what colour is the number 10 on the door of 10 Downing Street? Okay, let's go to question number 8. If you were leapfrogging, walking the dog, or going around the world, what would you be using? So sort of glossary terms here. So leapfrogging, walking the dog, or going around the world, what would you be using? Oh, Roy, you and your nests. Let it go, let it go. But keep doing it because it still makes me laugh. Okay, let's try question number 9. In the board game Risk, which you've all heard of, not necessarily played, but you've all heard of, what colour is Europe? So if you look at the board that it's on, different sections of the world are different colours. So what colour is the European section? Oh, Splom! Oh my God! Welcome. God, I've seen you for ages. Welcome. my rendition of Frozen. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, I'm afraid. Let's get. Right, here's number 10. Out of all of the animals in the Chinese horoscope, which one comes last alphabetically? Or if you're using the digital answer pack, what is the first letter of the Chinese horoscope that comes last alphabetically? So work backwards. Work backwards from Z. Is there one that starts with Z? Is there one that starts with Y? Go back until you think you can find one. Okay, I think we should move on to question number 11. I was hoping that We Pie Hard would be here tonight. I'm not sure they are, but this is for you. So number 11, the interior angles of which regular polygon add up to 720. They'll just get it like that. I mean, I say it's for them. It's not really for them, but it's like in honour of We Pie Hard. So the interior angles of which regular polygon, I love saying questions like that, add up to 720. Just what's the name? Or digital answer back wise, what's the first letter of the name of the regular polygon? Okay, let's go on to question number 12 now, into the animal kingdom for this one. If cats are feline, we all know that. Dogs are canine, we all know that. What a sheep. What a sheep. So if the cats are feline, the dogs are canine, what are sheep? Yay! Hi, Steph. Is everyone there? Or are you video chatting, or is it just you? Let's go on to 13. Back to the States. What is America's oldest still active automotive manufacturer? I wanted to do this as like the world's oldest still active automotive manufacturer, but I couldn't yet. And just doing the research, it became a minefield, and I was like, no, I just can't categorically say that. But I can categorically tell you which is America's oldest still active automotive manufacturer. It was founded in 1903. So which one do you reckon it was? This image, potentially, I mean, it's not really any clue. It's just an old car in America. Hi, Pie. I like that. Oh, it just tickles me. Okay, are we ready for number 14? You're going to get recaps of the questions at the end. I've got a little bit of music to accompany it as well. But anyway, let's go number 14. What name is given to a matador that rides on horseback? Okay, so you have your matadors that are running around, but then there's matadors like this chap that's not running around. He's benefiting with the horse. But what is the name given to a matador on horseback? Other than Cruel Bastard. Tough question that, so let's just move on. You got, like I say, if you've got the digital answer pack, and even if you're writing it down on paper, technically the most you need to do is just write down the first letter of the answer. So just write down any letter. Okay, penultimate question now, number 15. What is the only word in the English language that ends in MT? I feel like I almost constantly ask that question. I think I just really, really like that question. So what is the only word in the English language that ends in MT? There are some really weird words that technically don't even really exist as words that end in MT. There are two words, however, that do. One of them is just a lot more obvious than the other, but both the most obvious and the lesser obvious one both start with the same letter. So you're absolutely fine. When I speak, I just don't even know. Oh, is that your kids, Andrew, that are doing it? 11 and 8. Hi, Andrew's kids. Welcome along. That is brilliant, John. Mawamp. No, it's not. I'm pretty. That is a word. It's just one of those words that I said doesn't really exist. Okay, let's do the final question before we completely lose it. A canton, a halyard, and field are three of the component parts of which item? So this item is made up of more than three, but three of them is a canton, a halyard, and a field. So what do you reckon the item is? Okay, so like I said, I've got a nice little recap of all of these questions now, and I've managed to find some uncopyrighted music, which is bearable to listen to. I'm just going to give you a minute to go through these questions just to, not familiarise yourself, but just to make sure you know what you're doing. If you're on the digital answer pack and you're still at question 6, hurry up and get to question 16. So I'm going to give you this little break just for 1 minute, and then we'll be back with a little, what we do. Oh, post around fun. Rightio, folks. It is time for us to move on to our... No, why does that always happen? Every week I show my desktop. There's nothing dodgy on there, but it's just so unbelievably unprofessional. Okay, so... Christ. But it's time for picture round. Okay, so for those of you that are patrons or did the GoFundMe and are now are sort of honorary patrons and have your memberships, you will need a password to get it. And I don't do this password to make it secret. It's just I don't want people to get the posters before the quiz starts. So the password that you require is aromatic cheese menu. All one word, lowercase, aromatic cheese menu. So if you are members of the AdVenture quiz, you can go to the website now, type in aromatic cheese menu, and you will have images of all three of those posters that you can click on, and you can have a lot more detail. For the rest of you, don't worry. I'm still going to guide you through this post around, and you're still going to have just as much access. It's just for the really, really into it people that just want me to shut up and let them go through the posters at their own rate. This is what they pay for. But for the rest of you, just come along for the ride with me. So tonight our theme is cookery. Everyone's very much getting into cookery at the moment. Where our first poster A, is all about utensils, and we are looking at like, for those of you on the digital answer pack, again, just the first letter of the answer. Now, some of these you might be able to sort of explain what it is in 2 words. Don't explain what it is in 2 words. Explain what it is in 1 word. It is a 1-word answer, and only a 1-word answer. And you are putting the first letter of each of them. So here we go. Here's number 1. We actually have one of them in our house. Ridiculously expensive because it's made by Joseph. But I mean, it's a great brand and they look gorgeous. But what does it do? What's the first letter of what it does? We'll do all of these posters twice as well, so don't worry. Let's go to number 2. Nice little easy one. It's that metal bit underneath. Don't worry about the veg at the top. It's just a nice image that I wanted to convey. Now, here's number 3. Now, there is just 1 word for this. You could say it's a but don't do the first do the next It's, you know, if you just say that first word on its own, that doesn't mean anything. The second one, if I'm just confusing you, don't worry. And this is the hardest one. You need to be into the patisserie. Let's try number 4. Lethal. The most lethal gadget you can ever have in a... Well, is it the most lethal? Well, the most likely to lacerate you in all manners. But what's it called? It's just a 1-word answer. Is there someone genuinely from Paraguay? Plis Kenpi. Really? You're from Paraguay? A very big welcome if you are. Let's go with number 5. Number 5. This okay. Don't even if you're thinking of an English word, it's not an English word. It's a foreign word. I think is it Italian? I think it's Italian. Yeah, I think it's an Italian name. But it's like, you know, we would use the same name. Let's go to number 6. Come on, we know that one, don't we? Just the first letter. You know, it's just the first letter. That's all we need. Number 7. There's a fear. Some people might just give these lots of different names. There is only one name for it, really. A lot of these sort of extra names, I think it'd be called, also start in my head with the same letter. So don't really worry. Remember, you're just after the first letter. That's just a range of them. You know, there's mini ones, there's large ones. Number 8 is well, one part of a 2-part thing. God. Mike, if you keep writing down answers, I'm sorry, I have to do this. Just have to I'm sorry that you can't write answers on the thing. I know you're just getting into it, but don't write answers down. If you write another answer down, I will bar you. I really don't want to bar people from chat. Anyway, oh God. It's really like the actual quiz, isn't it? It's just virtual. Okay. Wait, so Jesus. There's 8. What is it? It's part of 2 things. There's one and the other. That's one part of it. What's the name of it? I feel like I'm running behind massively. Okay. And then your final one, number 9. What do you reckon it is? What do you reckon it is? It's something that you would stand pots on, okay? Like my family call them pot stands, but they're not pot stands because that's 2 words, isn't it? There's one technical term for it. Okay, for those of you that don't have access to those posters, let me just do them. Let's just quickly do them again for you. So remember, it's just the first letter of each one. There's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Yeah. Number 6. Number 7, number 8, and number 9. What do you mean there's a plumbing problem, Mum? Is the house, like, flooded or something? Right, okay. Oh, God, I need to stop getting distracted by these comments. Okay, right. So, B now, poster B. It's all about the pasta, folks. Okay, so pasta. So you're not the particular dish, just the name of the pasta. The name of the pasta. Okay, so here's your first pasta. Pasta number 1. This is very common. You will have all had it. It's not the most common of all pastas, but no, it is there. And when you buy it, it comes in like little bunches. It doesn't come straight. It comes in like little I just thought, like a little bird's nest. Again. Bird's nest. A little bird's nest of pasta. Let's go to number 2 now. The seashell ones. Don't say seashell. What is the name? Number 3. They're the big tubes. I know that looks, but that's a big tube about that long, and it's been filled with stuff. It's the tubular, large tubular. Number 4. I'm going to accept 2 answers to this, so both first letters is fine. There is a generic answer for just the name of a pasta with a filling, and then there's this particular one. That's a large version of the smaller one, but both the large and the smaller version still start with the first letter. I really geeked out over this. A leak in the loft. How is there a leak in the loft? It's not even raining. Oh, God. Right, let's go to number 5. Number 5. Okay, so short tubes. That sort of what's it got? Rifles. That rifled edge around the side is a sort of the the defining factor. Number 6. It is not bow ties. It is not. If you put a B, you are not going to get a point. It is not a B. It is any other letter, but well, it's not. It's only one letter, but it's not a B. It's not bow ties. Seven now. The swirly ones, the spirally ones, Really nice. That's a very classy version, actually. That looks delicious as well, doesn't it? You'll get these all again. So don't worry. 8. Now 8 looked a little bit like 1, but it's not 1. 8 is ever so slightly sort of thicker, not as wide, and it has rounded edges. Rounded edges. Well, I mean, you can see that in the image. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what is Dad doing up there. He's just hanging out, thinking, I just really, really don't want to do this quiz. I'm just going to let Linda do it on her own. I hate quizzes, to be honest. And number 9, final one, is the big one. Bit like number 1, but even bigger. Matt, like, look at that in terms of the scale. That I intentionally had the image of the spoon there to give you that scale. I mean, that's at least 2 fingers wide. Two fingers. Dad's back. Okay, great. Great. Right, let's do them again. Right. There's number 1. Remember, for those of you with the digital answer pack, just tap the first letter. That's all good. Here's number 2, the seashells, but it's not seashells. Number 3 was the tubes, the large tubes that are filled. Number 4, 2 potential answers there. I will accept both of them. Well, there's three potential answers. 5. It's a nice one. It's been mending a pipe. I feel like this is like Friday night dinner or something, but it's like Tuesday night quiz. Lovely bit of squirrel. Here's number 6. It's not bow tie. It's not bow tie. There's 7. There's something about it. It just looks. I just love Italian food. Number 8. It's not the same as number 1. It's very different to number 1. Don't insult Italians by saying, "Oh, it's just the same as number 1." And number 9, that final one, nice and wide, really. How do you make Mao sauce? I like the idea of that though. Mao sauce, spaghetti alla Mao. Okay, poster C now. Herbs and spices. Some of these are dead obvious. Others are not so. So number 1, your beginner herb there, isn't it? That's a real beginner. Crimble crumble. So number 1, that's the basil. Oh shit! I just said it. How can I delete what I just said? I can't. I'm sorry, but you know that anyway. Well, we all knew that was going to happen at some point. Here's number 2. Nice little easy one. I might as well tell you the answer to that one as well. Jesus. No. There's number 3. Now, be careful with that one. Well, I mean, say be careful, but yeah, it could be easily mistaken for some that are not so. Number 4 is a nice ovs. Come on. Absolutely love it. Got them growing in a garden. Didn't actually come up that well this year, actually. I normally, yeah. Anyway, sorry, going off on a tangent there. Number 5. This is interesting. It's a root. Look at that on the left-hand side. They look like sort of witchetty grubs, don't they? But they're not. It's a root, and that's its ground form. Yeah, I got answers again. Yeah, I was like, how can I delete myself? I can't, sadly. Well, I can. I could just end the stream right now, but I'm not going to do that. Number 6. Here you go. Number 6. The answer is not the letter N. N for November. It is not N for November. It's like N for November, but it's called something different. So it's not N for November. It's something else. Last time I checked, John, scissors was not a herb. Here's number 7. Yeah, it's so familiar. You might have bought that. You haven't. It's lovely. It's lovely though. It's one of the. I mean, well, I say lesser. It's one of the lesser used common herbs. Here's number 8. Most often used in its dry form. I would say I've never ever used that in its non-dried form, in its wet form. It's always been dried. So there's a bowl of the dried stuff. As a bit of a clue, I'll say that we say it different in American English and English English. There's a difference in pronunciation. So that narrows it down to pretty much every freaking herb we have. And final one is number 9. Spice there. That's in its pod. You can have that ground, but that's in its pod. Very distinctive little pods. Very strong flavour as well. You wouldn't want many of them. So there's all 9. Should we go? Do we go back? Let's go back to the start. Where were we? So here we go. Here's number 1. Oh, can you remember what I told you the answer was to that one? That's number 1. Number 2 again. That's so obvs, isn't it? Is that not obvs? It's totally obvs. Number 3. Why is it not going to number 3? Number 3. Yeah, it's that wonderful spice we've all had, known as aluminum, or is it aluminium? I'm not. That's good. Here's number 4. I'm just going to let me know what number 4 is. If you don't know what number 4 is, then I'm not going to say anything negative. But number 5. That's tougher. Number 6, it's not N for November. Do not put N for November. It does not start with N for November. Actually, titanium, maybe. Titanium. But that's for the other one, not for this one. Number 7 is lovely. It is lovely. It looks wilted there. It's not wilted. It is a little wilted when you... Well, actually... No, maybe it's just when you buy it. Here's number 8. Always in always in its dried form, but mostly. And number 9. Your final one. So for those of you with your digital answer pack, all you're doing is just pressing the first letter of the answers. If you're just playing along for fun, just say the answer in your head and remember what you said. If you're writing it down, write your answers down. So, what are we doing next? Okay, oh, yes. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our picture round. I shall now introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's brain teaser, the brain teaser jar. And there she is. There's going to be a larger image coming in a minute, so don't worry. I need to explain this to you. It is written... I always point that way because it's reversed for me. On the label that you see, so... They're tea lights, okay, you know, like the candles, the tea lights. Imagine they were all stacked up as high as they would go, like as a disc, stacked up and stacked up and stacked up. In centimetres, what is the total height that all of those tea lights would get to, okay, in centimetres? If you've got your digital answer pack, just write it down separately on a piece of paper. You have to enter that later on. And then if you don't have it, just have a little go, okay? So I'm now going to give you... Is it 7 minutes? Yeah. You've now got a 7-minute break, but it's not just a break. I'm also going to give you a large version of this brain teaser, okay? So 7 minutes for a break. Nip to the loo if you need to. Get yourself another little drink from your fridge. Do whatever you like. And in 7 minutes' time, we're going to come back. You'll still have the brain teaser image above me after that. But this is 7 minutes of full-on brain teaser time. Break time as well. And then we'll be back with some spotlight action, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your break. Well, folks, I think that brings us to the end of our little break after you've absolutely decided that you hate hate copyright-free music. I'm trying my best. You have no idea how many. Actually, do you know what? You could actually help me out here. If you just go to Google and you type in, what is it? It's YouTube Audio Library. There is a list of songs. Like YouTube has created like a sort of, a library of songs that you can select that are all copyright free. If there's one of those songs that you can find that you like, because there's about like 27,000 on there and I'm trying to get through them. Why can't you have a little go as well? And send me a link to the song that you like, and then maybe you can get in next week. Okay, so request your copyright-free tunes through me. Okay, so Brain Teaser is above us. You can still keep working on that because I know I let Pressbox down. I let Pressbox down last week. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it is round number 4. Round number 4, we played this before. Well, if you've done physical quizzes with me, we played this before. It's build a word. Build a word. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you 6 questions, okay? So 6 questions. And then if you take the first letter of each of your answers, you're going to spell a word out. Now, the word is in order. It's not an anagram. So it's letter number 1, then number 2, then number 3. That is going to spell out a word in order. If you manage to get, the word, you get yourself a 5-point bonus. Okay, so 1 point for each correct answer, and then if you get the bonus word, you get yourself a 5-point bonus. Okay, so we're going to clear the board. Clear the board. Okay, so we've got 6 questions. Write your answers down. These have to obviously be done in order, okay? So, don't worry if some of them are hard early on. I'll give you repeats. I mean, the questions stay there anyway, so I don't even need to repeat them. You can just... What is going on this? Okay. Right. Question number 1. Oh, we're sciencey, by the way. Sciencey. Chemistry, physics, biology. Okay, so in science, what is the technical term for the act of breathing? So we didn't say breathing. What do you say? I've given you a clue because, I should say, on the digital answer pack, you have to write these answers in block capitals. I'm having a nightmare with the case sensitivity of these things. I've spoken to the very producers of Typeform, and they say, no, we're not going to change it for you. So that's really annoying. So it's 11 letters and it has to all be in what? I don't even understand have we just been like, has the party just been crashed by loads of people that have no idea what's going on? I could bar them. I don't want to bar them though, because I feel that you're adding something, but if you're just going to write poop all the time. Anyway. Number 2. Where in the body would you find the stirrup bone? The stirrup bone. That's a 9. Really? Oh, guys, that's really sad. I'm gonna have to put you on timeout now. Yeah, it's really weird, isn't it? Do you think they're children or something? No, you're going... I don't understand the... Well, they're all going on timeout. Oh, God, what a shame. Okay, anyway, although I have to say it's quite cool because people have been like, ooh, this is really, really popular, so let's ban the shit out of it. Okay, question number 3. An orchidectomy is the surgical removal of the... what? So it's 9 letters, just not to confuse you. So the orchidectomy is the surgical removal of the what? Oh, Roy, do you reckon it was Luke? Yeah, but the thing is, my bloody 10-year-old nephew is playing this, and he's not just writing the word poo. Okay, come on, right, back to quiz. Next one. What name is given to the teeth located between the canines? This one's for you, Mum. Mum's a dental nurse. We did the simnel cake. That's got nothing to do with teeth, but the simnel cake last week. So this one is for you, Mum. So what? If you don't know this, I'm never going to trust a single thing you say after this point about me brushing my teeth or flossing or anything. Oh, and incidentally, it's eight letters, just to let you know, so that we can. Well, it's pluralised. Next question: what is the most common gas in the air we inhale? So the air that you're all inhaling right now. The most, prolific, I'd say, is a better word. Well, the most common or most prolific one. Ooh. I'm putting him in time out, but I don't know how long is time out. Right, let's do the next one. Oh, God, there's some knobs in the world. Which disorder can be defined as having less than the normal quantity of hemoglobin in the blood? So which disorder can be defined as having less than the normal quantity of hemoglobin in the blood? Okay, so there's all 6 of your questions. Now take the first letter of each of those and going from the top to the bottom, it will spell out a word. It's a sciencey word. It's a sciencey word. Okay, don't worry. It's not going to be a weird word that's not outside of science. It's a sciencey word. So what do you reckon it is? You get 1 point for each of your answers, and then you. You're welcome, Mum. You're welcome. Okay, so do you want me to leave these with you for a little bit more while I just go through and time out people for writing the word penis and poop in the chat? Right, so I'm going to go on. I'm going to go on to group number 2 now because we're almost 55 minutes into the quiz, folks. Okay. Group number 2, clear the board, clear the board. Here we go. Oh yeah, because like I said, we got 2 of these, okay? 2 of these. So, the first of your next 6 questions, still sciencey. Which element has the chemical symbol Pb? Come on, that is just insanely easy. again, poop. So, which element has the chemical symbol Pb? Next question. Which word... Okay, get into this. Physics here. Which word describes the property of a matter by which it continues in a uniform motion unless acted upon? So one of the laws of motion, it will continue in a uniform motion until acted upon. But what is it? Remember, you've got to write it in block capitals. In block capitals. It's just a one-word answer. Let's go to number 3. The theory involving the large-scale motion of the Earth's crust is known as plate what? So all of those plates moving around, the study of them is, or the theory is plate what? Plate what? Remember, it's got to be in block capitals. You have to spell it right. Sadly, with online quizzes, it is a spelling test. Next one. What is the only common metal that is liquid at room temperature? So I say common. I mean, even then it's not exactly common, but there's other ones that are less common. But what is the, come on, you know this. I'm giving you, the only common metal that is liquid at room temperature. The one that, at school we were like, oh my God, that's amazing. So what is it? Penultimate question. Which planet was discovered in 1781 by Friedrich Herschel? I'm not sure if that's exactly how you pronounce his name. So, Friedrich Herschel. Which planet was discovered by him in 1781? The guy was a ledge. And then your final question, what is the name of the second major layer of Earth's atmosphere? Okay, so we're on the Earth. We are in a layer. Shall I tell you? Okay, we're in the troposphere. Okay, so we are in the troposphere. That's the one closest to the surface of the Earth. And then there's multiple layers going up above. So we're in the troposphere. What's this? So that's the first one. What's the second one? So we go, so through the troposphere, what's the next layer that we get into? Have we had enough time with this? I know some of you are just going to still be at question number 1 because you haven't got that word. So I'm going to give you a little bit more time. Let me go through them again just to sort of, pad it out. Which element has a chemical? No, actually, I'm not going to do this because you can read. I'm not just going to read stuff to you. This is not what we do. I'm just going to give you another minute, folks, okay? And then we are going to move on to the audio round. It's a really, really fun audio round tonight as well. I hope as well. So if you really do need another minute, which I'm... do you? I don't think you do. I don't think you do. Maybe let's go to just 1 minute of spinning and a minute of chill music, and then we're back with audio round. Twinkle, little star. So it's supposed to be a serious quiz, folks. Incidentally, none of you have asked me what beverage is in the merch mug tonight. Well, I think we're done. You're so done with that. So, audio round time. Now, you might have known that I constantly go on about copyrighted stuff. Do you know that every single quiz that I've done previous to this one, I don't know whether it's going to happen with this one, we'll find out. Every single quiz that I have live streamed on YouTube, there has been at least one copyright claim coming through within... I think 2 hours was the quickest one we had. They are hot on it. Their algorithm, Jesus, their algorithm knows copyrighted stuff. And I was looking into what is uncopyrightable music, and like a sort of a rule of thumb is that as long as it's really old, it's out of copyright. So what's really old? I'll tell you what really old is. It's national anthems. Ridiculously old. It's the beginning of time. If I get a copyright claim because of these, I just don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. I have absolutely no idea. So, I've got 12 national anthems for you. I've put the flags there just because it's nicer rather than writing down an answer. I've given them all letters. Okay, so you got A, B, C. I'm going to play you 12 national anthems. So it's going to be Anthem 1, Anthem 2, Anthem 3, etc. And then you just have to say which country is in terms of the letter. If you're not using Digital Answer Pack, don't worry, you can write down what the name of the country is. But if you're not sure, I mean, I'm pretty sure that we could all work out what those countries are in terms of their flag. So don't worry too much if you don't know the name of the country. Really, all you need to do is to get the point is to write down the letter of each of them. So let's start off with number 1, if you are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, we're number 1. We'll hear them all twice as well. But here's number 1. That was number 1. So just say the letter of what it is. Here's number 2. Maybe, Shelley, you could send me like a care parcel and make it neat gin. Here's number 3. Sadly, Marcelo, I do not speak every language, so no, I can't sing them. I'm not even going to sing my one. I didn't mean that in a bad way. Are you going to, like, chastise me for that? I just don't care. Here's number 4. Here's number 5. You're getting these all twice, so don't worry. Here's number 5. Love this one. Reminds me of steam fairs that I used to go to as a kid. Loved the steam fairs, traction engines, and they always had a steam operated organ that would do it. Anyway, here's number 6. Oh, and that's it. Here's number 7. Eight. It's heavy. Here's number 9. I don't know. I just danced that one. Is that rude to dance to it? I'm not sure. I'm not going to offend anybody. Here we go. I'm just going to be completely PC. Just deadpan. Here's number 11. Here's a bit Super Mario, isn't it? Here's your final country. Yeah, oh, Rosa, you gorgeous little baby. Yeah, it is silly music, But if you talk to your daddy will explain to him there was these things called polyphonic ringtones, and they were as a as a MIDI file. That was back at the times when, you know, did Facebook even exist? I don't think it did. Okay, let's do them all again now. If anybody watching this is offended by my actions, it's not. I love these tunes, and that's why I'm bopping along. So here's number one. I'll bop. Right, here's number two. Last time we can hear these, by the way. Number three. Number four, final time. My organ is well out of sight. Number five. Oh, sorry, I continue. I know. Right, here's number six. Number seven. Just for you, Alvin, I'll put a special Patreon tier in which you can have access to my hidden organ. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot more than £1 a quiz, though. Here's number 8. Number 9, final time. I would say that is more recognisable than my own national anthem. Yeah. Cuss me, whatever you like. Here's number 10. Okay, penultimate one now. Remember, you're just saying the letter, just the letter. You don't have to say what the country is, just the letter. So you know, potentially you can get extra points if you're just like, well, you know what those countries are. Anyway, here's number 11. Final one. Final time. Number 12. Okay, so thanks for all of you pointing out that I need to. Oh no, that's great. I shouldn't have said anything whatsoever because there was supposed to be an image above my head that said each of the track numbers, and I didn't even look. See there, that be track number 12. I was supposed to go through them sequentially. I didn't do it. Sorry. I shall learn. So, do you want me to give you another minute? I don't want to give you another minute because we're not running behind, but I just think that, you've had enough time there, haven't you? So, are we ready for Quizmo? Oh, it's time for Quizmo. Right. Quizmo round. For those of you that are just joining us, once again, a very big welcome to you. Welcome to the family. Quizmo round is a timed round. You have 3 minutes to complete the challenge that I set you. Let me explain what your challenge is this evening. We are going into the world of Rubik's Cubes. I have a series of Rubik's Cubes faces. Okay, there's 20 in total. But there's 10 unique ones, and all of them have been copied once. So you have to work out which face it has its identical partner. There's going to be one face, and then somewhere else there's going to be another face. It might have been rotated, okay? So, don't think it's that easy. But you have to go in the correct order. So on your digital answer pack, you are given, it says, number 1, B plus question mark, okay? So that is saying image B, so Rubik's Cube B, is matched with what? Okay, you're going to do a letter. For those of you without a digital answer pack, you can potentially cheat in this round, so don't cheat. Just write down what B is and its match, and then go to the next one. They're just examples. They're examples, okay? So you have a list that you have to go through systematically. You can pass. You are absolutely able to pass, but you can't go back to that one and fill it in, okay? You can't pass. You have to go back to that one and fill it in, and you get 1 point for each. Now, after last week, we had a bit of an issue, didn't we? Because I had that music and then the countdown was going wrong. So this time, for my own benefit and for your benefit, ladies and gentlemen, I have given you a little counter. A counter in the top. This is how good we are getting. So, right. I'm going to give you this thing in a minute, right? Are you digital answer pack people? Are you there? Digital answer pack people, are you there? You have to be... Okay, good. Right, you're at that stage. Okay, you have to do it in order from 1 to 10. You have to say F is matched with whatever. C is matched with whatever. Oh, I've just given you a little bit of a clue there. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. And your 3 minutes starts now. Remember, in order. F is matched with what? C is matched with what? You can pass, but you can't go back to that one. 2 minutes left to go now. 2 minutes left to go. 1 minute down. You still got 2 minutes left to go. Don't panic. I think if you get your stuff together in a team, you can do this. Halfway through now, minute and a half down, minute and a half left to go. One minute left now, folks. 1 minute left. Come on, come on. You can get through this. If you've already done it, congratulations. But you can keep going, keep going. Remember, you've got to do it in order. "30 seconds left." We're just there over. "20 seconds. Come on, you can do this. If you haven't already done it, you can do this. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And you're done. Your time is up, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Well done. Oh my God. Okay, so that brings us to the end of another quiz. Not the end, it's just the end of me presenting it. What you need to do now is to submit your answers. I have added a little extra questions on there just to know what you like. So go through those extra ones, submit your answers. If you're using a paper answer pack, you can go to adventurequizzes.com. You can do the manual submission of your answers. You need to do that really, really, really quickly. I'm now going to go to that type form or the form that you've been filling in. I'm going to go through generally what the scores were, how you answered in a particular way. You know, it doesn't matter. You're going to work it out. I'm just stupidly filling time for you to be able to do this. Basically, what I want to say is complete your digital answer pack, press submit. For the rest of you, if you're not going to do that, go to the manual submission and do it. But other than that, folks, I'm now going to give you, well, I need 10 minutes. I think I'm getting quicker, and I really am. We might go to 15 minutes, but I'm going to give you and for those of you that don't like this music, these are the tunes that I've really picked to hopefully be the most enjoyable non-copyrighted tunes. Anyway, folks, I'll be back after this with your answers, the scores, the results, and everything that you've been waiting for after this quiz. I'll be back as quick as I can after these. Oh my God, folks, that brings us to the end of our little break there. My God. Oh, the pressure. Okay, I said I mean, I hope you're enjoying yourselves. Jesus Christ, almost pooed myself. Working out who's printing stuff. I've done as many macros as I possibly can, and it's still an absolute bloody nightmare. So don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm not enjoying myself here. This is absolutely great. So keep calm. It's answer time. Let's go with Big Mix Bingo, and I'm going to be able to give you feedback as to what your percentage was. So Big Mix Bingo. Come on. There we go. The colour of jersey that is worn by the overall leader of the Tour de France. 100% of you said why. I'm assuming that was yellow, of course, and yellow is the correct answer. There we go, yellow. Let's get that out of the way. Okay. Question number 2. A sphinx has the body of which animal? 69% of you said L. 31% said C. The answer is lion. So that would be the 69%. But what was the 30? Is that cheetah? Maybe it was cheetah. I don't know. But you weren't right. Which country does Portugal border? 100% of you said S, which was Spain. Number 4. What is the first event in the standard triathlon? 90% of you said S for swimming. Swimming was the correct answer. The biggest, after other weirdness, 7% of you said R, which I think you meant was running, but no, it starts with the swimming. Are you enjoying these stats, by the way? I hope you are, because I was rushing off my tits to bring these to you. Let's go to number 5. In Greek mythology, who supported the heaven on his shoulders? So 83% of you said A, which was Atlas. There was 10% that said H. I think H, you meant Hercules, but no. It was Atlas. Number 6. Come on, why is the computer so slow now? You've done me so proud. Come on. The American state that has a name that ends in 3 vowels. 93% of you said H, which was Hawaii. The other 7% of you just did a random selection of letters. Number 7. This is good. I love this one. So the colour of the number 10 on the door of 10 Downing Street. So like I said, it was like there was only a small selection of things you could have. 43%, only 43% of you said W, which was for white. W for white. There was 26% of you that said S, which I'm assuming was for silver. And the rest of you just randomly chose. On to the... I have to say, I love giving out these stats, actually. Now I'm really getting into it. Bingo! Let's go to... Oh, no, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Right. Okay, if you were leapfrogging, walking the dog, or going around the world, what would you be using? 96% of you said yo-yo. It was the yo-yo. Incidentally, the earliest version of the yo-yo, they were actually like a hunting tool where you'd be in a tree and there'd be animals passing underneath you, and you would throw the rock down to hit them in the head, sort of, stun them at least, kill them, and then pick it up. So anyway, let's move on. Number 9, in the board game Risk, what colour was Europe? Let me have a look. 50% of you, only half of you, correctly said the answer was blue. The next one, other than just weirdness of all of them, 13% said G, which I think is green. Green. I would assume it is what you thought was green. On to the animals, the Chinese horoscope. So which one comes last alphabetically? I'm going to give them to you last alphabetically. You've got boar, dog, dragon, horse, monkey, ox, rabbit, ram, rooster, snake, Tiger! Tiger was your last one. Only 55% of you said tiger. 31% said something beginning S. You went with snake. You must have gone with snake. So 55% got the right answer. 31% of you went with snake. Oh, and there, just to clarify, the answer is snake. On to wee pie heart. The internal angles of which regular polygon add up to 720. 73% of you said hexagon. There was a 13% of you, other than the randomness. The next one was 13% that said O, which I think you were saying octagon. So, come on. You're close, but there's no cigar. On to the sheep then. This was an interesting one. So what is the sheep if it's feline, canine? 60% of you said O for ovine. Ovine was the right answer. The next one below that was 16% of you that said B, which I think was maybe bovine, but that's for cows. I'm not cussing you in any way, but at least you put it there. Maybe there's something else that I don't know. 13, surprisingly easy, maybe because there's so many people across the pond that are enjoying this quiz. 72% of you. Oh no, sorry, I'm reading it completely wrong. Okay. No, you were all shit. 72% of you put F. I'm thinking F would probably stand for Ford. The actual answer, the only three... I'm sorry, I've ruined it, haven't I? Because the correct answer that only 3% of you got was Buick. Buick was the only one that was... Hang on, let me just close this because we're getting how round. So 3%, only 3% of you managed to get that right. Sorry, that was the one that I got really, really excited about. Okay, tough one. The next one, the matador that rides on horseback. 40% of you said T. I don't know what that. I don't know what the T could stand for. 20% of you said P. 20% of you said C. And the 20% would be right if you said Picador. Picador is the right answer. Number 15, you either know or you don't know. It's one of those ones. The only word in the English language that ends in MT. 65% of the people right here, right now, doing the quiz have obviously been to a previous quiz and they've heard me ask that question. And the answer is dreamt. 65% of you. And then your final one, which is very bloody good, like 33% of you, the canton, the halyard and the field, 33% of you were correct in knowing that it was a flag. A flag. Why don't you click on? There we go, a flag. The canton is like the background. The halyard is that bit in the top left-hand corner. And then the halyard, whatever. Just look at that thing and work it out. I get so excited about statistics, and I think that was really, really good. So let's move on to picture round. 1 point for each of these. Don't get pissy about the answers, okay? If you're doing a digital answer pack, you're just there or you're not there. So, our first poster, the instruments, the utensils of cooking. Number 1 was a steamer. It was a steamer. It was only anything other than a steamer. A very classy and expensive steamer, but it's still a steamer. Number 2 was a colander. A colander. Number 3 was a docker. A docker. A pastry docker. There's a pornographical term, docker. Don't look, if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't look that up. But that is a pastry docker. That is a pastry docker. Oh, Jesus. Number 4 is the mandolin. Sounds like you could play it. as the mandolin. But no, it's not. You know, that's it. That is a chopper. Number 5 is the mezzaluna. Mezzaluna, that's Italian for half moon, which makes sense really, doesn't it? So mezzaluna, half moon. Number 6 is the zester. It's the Z word. It's the Z word. Very unusual to have a Z word, but it's the Z word after all, the zester. Number 7 is a spatula. If you call it a scraper, no, just no. There are so many things that are capable of scraping. It is not a scraper. It's a bloody spatula. Number 8, the 2 parts. It's the pestle part of it. Number 9 is a trivet. A trivet. It's not a pot stand. I would call it a pot stand, but it's a trivet. A trivet. So a T is what we needed. Yeah. Did you go? Yeah. Don't get pissy. Don't get pissy. Okay, on to the next one. The pasta. Steph Giordano. Are you watching right now? Because you can back me up if people disagree with me. Anyway, let's have a go. So, pasta number 1 is the tagliatelle. Tagliatelle, as I say, it's sold in like little nests, isn't it? Like you know, just sort of wrapped around nests. So, T, tagliatelle. Number 2 is the concigli. Concigli. This is great because you don't need to worry about spelling. It's just C for concigli. Like I say, it's the yeah. What are the like? Are the Arabic guys just giving out answers? Because I will block them. I will block them. Just like the poop children, I will block them. Let's fucking hell. Let's go to number 3. The field ones are cannelloni. Cannelloni. Number 4. Okay, so the big ones are tortelli. You might be more familiar with the smaller versions, which are tortellini. But also, like I said, there's a generic one, which is ravioli. Ravioli is just a generic term for anything, any pasta with a filling. So you could have a T or an R. I would have given you the point. Oh, sorry, I just hit the mic. The number 5 is the rigatoni. The rigatoni. I'll ignore that. Number 6 is not bow tie. It is farfalle. Farfalle. You don't need to say it with the accent, but just an F is enough. Number 7 is the fusilli. Fusilli. I don't know how to say it. Come on, that's what you need to be here, Steph. You know. So just an F is enough. Number 8 is the linguini. Linguini. Number 9, the final one is the pappardelle. Oh, God. I'm not Italian anyway, but it's the pappardelle. Pappardelle. I'll have the pappardelle with the mushrooms, please. So it's the pappardelle. We just need a P. You just need a P. That's all you need. Okay. Herbs and spices. Our first one, well, Jesus, I told you, didn't I? It's basil. Would you believe it's basil? I'm so glad that I at least released the answer to a ridiculously easy one. So that was basil. Number 2, ginger. There you go. Number 3 was thyme. Thyme. It could be, it's similar to a many, but it is thyme. Number 4 is chive. Chive. So we just need a C on a digital answer pack. Number 5 is turmeric. Turmeric. Timmy brought that home the other day. Did a test on me. He was like, what do you reckon this is? And I was like, I have absolutely no idea. So I'm giving it to you. Number 6 is mace. It is mace. It is not nutmeg. I mean, technically, it is part of nutmeg. But I said, don't do N. Don't do N. It's M for mace. Number 7 is tarragon. Tarragon. Number 8 is oregano. Always, or oregano. 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 Sorry. Number 9 is cardamom. Cardamom. Cardamom pods. Cardamom pods. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I've got a little bit of well, actually no. I'm just gonna. Oh, sod it. Should we just go on with it anyway? Sorry, I've got a bit of howran going on. I hope it's not annoying you. But yeah, Tim, in the kitchen, if there's any chance that you could turn down what you're listening to, because I can hear it howling round. So that would be absolutely fantastic. Love you. Okay. Round number 4. Build a word. So 1 point for each of your correct answers, and then 5 points for the bonus words. So in science, what is the technical term for the act of breathing? You had to spell it right. It had to be in block capitals, and it was respiration. Respiration. So an R is what we need. Where in the body would you find the stirrup bone? It's in your ear. It's in your ear. It's one of those tiny little bones in in your ears. So we need an E. Your next one, T was testicle. Testicle, testicles, but the surgical removal of the testicle. So we need a T. The name given to the teeth located between the canines. Mum got it. I should bloody hope. Incisors. Incisors. So we had an I for incisors. The most common gas in the air that we inhale is nitrogen. Nitrogen. We just breathe it in and breathe it out. It's almost just like a bolstering gas for the ones that we actually are more interested in. And then the anemia. Anemia was your last one. The having less than normal amount of hemoglobin. And so therefore, for 5 points, the word was retina. Retina. So 5 points for retina and 1 point for each of the words. So 1 point for each of the correct answers, and then 5 points for retina. Are we ready for group number 2? Group number 2 now. Which element has the chemical symbol Pb? Stands for the Latin plumbum, and it is lead. Lead. So we need L is what we needed. Which word describes the property of matter by which it continues in a uniform state of motion unless acted upon? Is inertia. Inertia is what you needed. So an I. The theory, plate is plate tectonics. Tectonics is what we needed. Like I said, I'll give you the number of letters because we needed the S at the end. The only common metal that is liquid at room temperature is mercury. So we needed an M for that. As I say, there is another one. Gallium is also liquid at room temperature, but doesn't really occur at like a free element in nature. So can't really be described as common, but mercury is as common as muck. Uranus was the planet that Herschel discovered. And the final one, stratosphere. Stratosphere is what we needed. So yeah, troposphere, stratosphere, and then above that we have mesosphere. And the word for 5 points, litmus. Litmus was the word that you need. That will get you 5 bonus points. Okay, are we done with that marking? I mean, if you're just doing answer pack, it's absolutely fine, but it's just if you're marking in paper that we need to worry about it. Let's go on to audio round. So just a straightforward 1 point for each of these. There's all our flags. Number 1 was C. That was Great Britain. That was C. Number 2 was K. K. Number 3 was H. That was the Mexican national anthem. Number 4 was F, the American national anthem. Would you believe it? Number 5 was Brazilian. That was A. So 5 was A. 6 was the Italian, and that was G. G, 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 just for 1 point. 7 Deutschland. D for D for Deutschland, actually. D for Deutschland. Number 8 was Australia. Australia. And that was B. B was what you needed. 9 was Italy. Italy did the homage with the pasta to you. So that was L. L was what we needed for number 9. So, oh, Jesus. No, sorry, not Italy. France. I'm looking at a different screen here and it's not giving me the same answers. J was Poland. J was Poland. Where are you, Ula? Where are you, Ula? You left us like a month ago. Now you're in lockdown in a strange country. So let us know where you are. Please, please, please. Number 11 was the Japanese national anthem. That was E. And number 12 was the Canadian. Blame Canada. That was I, your final one. So, Quizmo round time now. It was just 1 point for each of these, if you could manage to do it. There was all the ones on the left-hand side. As I say, just 1 point for each. So, F was matched with M. C was matched with P. J was matched with O. D with T. And then we went to R, G, N, K, S, and I. Oh God! So have you had enough time to be able to do that? If you just do it, if you're not doing actual answer back stuff, I've got results. I've got results. Okay, so brain teaser now. Brain teaser. There were 80 tea lights, and they were each 1.56 centimeters. I did that as an average of 10 on top of each other. And so the actual answer was 125, which means that in absolute first place with exactly the right answer, Pretenders, Paloma, you've done it. Pretenders and Paloma, you've done it. 125. In second place was Quizentials with 124, 1 away. Marjorie's Hippos, well done, 3 away with a guess of 122. And then Cremasteric Reflex and Not Enough Cooks share third place with 7 away, 132 and 118. So that's bloody brilliant. And so now let me tell you who's going to win. Now, don't worry. All you need to do is give me 5 minutes after the theme tune has ended and I will upload all of these results on here. You can see how well you fared. But for our patrons, this is how well we have fared. Actually, that's way more exciting than I thought. Hang on, let me just do... So that's first, third, fourth. Oh no! 4th, 5th. Okay, so there are so many joints going around the place. It's like fucking Mr. Nice's bloody party tonight. In 7th place, in joint 7th place with 72 points each is Jar Jar Thinks and Fake Brews. In 6th place with 73 points, Lucifer and the Oldies. Well done, Lucifer and the Oldies. In 5th place, joints all over the place, all with 74 points each, we have Kebab Machine, so nice to have you back. Creams and the Pretenders. Well done, Pretenders. Though you've got your top there. In so we're on 5th now. In 5th place with 75. Hang on, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. No, sorry, in 4th. No, in 5th place. In 5th place. There's so many of you. In 5th place with 75 points each, we have the Sausage Roll SARS, the Isolation Station, the Quizzy Rascals, and Brains of Britain, or Bob, as I should always know them. In 3rd place with 76 points is I'll Have a Pee, Please, Bob. In 2nd place with 78 points, it's Quizentials. But our 3 patrons that are going to share first place this evening with 79 points, it is We Pie Hard, Pressbox, and the Cremasteric Reflex. And I love every single one of you. Oh my God, congratulations to all of you. Thank you all so much for coming. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, become a patron, and get access if you don't already have access. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have a safe journey I always say have a safe journey home. So have a safe journey from your the room that you're currently playing the quiz in to your bedroom. Stay safe, stay positive, ladies and gentlemen. And until then, I'll see you next week. But until then, it is good night. You've been great, guys. I love you.